sneaker question that we had last week, Spider. And today, because of the whole sneaker thing, I brought it. I'm wearing a pair of Diodoras that I bought about 20 years ago. They do probably look 20 years old, but these are a pair of classic yellow and blue Diodoras. And this was the sneaker of the 80s. But of course, we all agreed Nike was the number one.
Of course.
They made $46 billion in 2023, and they have 79,000 employees. Number two was Adidas. They made $23.6 billion, and they have 59,000 employees.
Do you think that's have anything to do with the affiliation with Kanye?
No.
Because that was a quiet Adidas. That's deep. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And then number three is Puma at $9.36 billion and 8,000 employees. So I said Nike, Puma, Adidas. It's actually Nike, Adidas, Puma. Munchie, you said Nike, Adidas, Reebok. And you said, Spider, Nike, Skechers, and Vans. Skechers is number 4 on the list at $7.4 billion, and they have 11,000 employees. Vans is number 8 in the U.S., $2.8 billion, which sounds like a little bit of money, right, compared to these other ones.
Yeah.
But who wouldn't want a company that made $2.8 billion a year? 5,000 employees, and Munchie Reebok was number 10 at $1.9 billion with 9,000 employees.
So all of them we said was in the top 10.
All of the ones we said were in the top 10.
We basically had an idea of the market without knowing exactly what it was.
I had no idea and said all three.
No, I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh,
You said all
no, Munchie.
You said all three out of order, but it fall in place.
No, but
like
Munchie,
daily three.
Correct.
Munchie
Yeah.
on a count of 3, he deserves some applause. Please.
Nah, that was
No, he needs this 1, 2, 3.
Hey, dog.
You ain't gonna clap with me?
No. We gonna do them like that. No. Because we was all in the top 10. Though.
But he's demanding it right now.
I'm not demanding anything. We guessed it. I guessed it based on commercials, experience, traveling. One reason why I knew that Vans would not be in the top 10, in the top 3, is because Vans is a warm weather sneaker. Their bread and butter are the canvas shoes. That probably makes 80% of their money, and nobody on the East Coast is wearing that, like in New York, Detroit, Philly. It's too cold.
I don't believe the East Coast factors into the success of Puma either. And I don't believe you have any data to substantiate otherwise.
And neither do you.
Well,
I didn't say I did. Wait a minute.
I'm going off comments.
But you still substantiated. You still stated your perspective as if it mattered.
It does matter because when you're in cold weather,
But you have no.
here.
I'm going off the comments. The comments said they rock. And New Yorkers said they rock with Puma.
Oh yeah,
that's what the comments were saying.
What comments where?
So everybody go check out the last episode.
What comments where?
Last Straight Politicking.
How many commenters were there?
It's a lot of them. You know, we go up.
But here's one thing about footwear. Like, for example, Timberlands. Timberland is not even in the top 10. You know why?
That's crazy, though.
Because a whole half of the country barely wears Timberlands. Because it's too hot, it's too warm. It is not. Who wears boots in LA?
Why are we talking about brands that did not make the top 10?
Because
hold on, the East Coast gonna be on you.
I'm curious why we're considering.
The reason why
we're discussing brands that didn't even make the top 10.
The reason why I made that point is because weather is a very important element.
However, regardless of weather, we all mention brands that made the top 10.
No, but what he's saying why they didn't make the top 10.
That's not. But we're not talking. Those brands never came up.
The question was the top 3. What are the top 3?
But currently, right now, you just said top 10.
I did a list of the top 10 just for more context.
That's more.
But you said Van, and he trying to tell you why the Vans didn't make the top 3 because they don't
I
make.
Ask about the top 3. My only interest has been since he's.
Your only interest is 3 of us right here.
No, it's since he established top 10. I've been referring to top 10. I've been responding to top 10.
Okay, but the initial question from last episode of Straight Politicking was the top 3.
Yeah.
All right. I think Puma's number 2 or number 3 in the world as a footwear. But Nike, of course, is the king.
In the athletic, right?
I'm just saying across the board.
No, it wouldn't be number 1 or 2 in footwear across the board.
Well, who would you put behind Nike?
And first of all, you're talking about athletic footwear.
No, I'm just talking about footwear.
Athletic. Vans are above all of them.
Okay, so you think go Nike, Van, then Puma?
Wait, so
there may be another brand. Skechers is on the map. You might want to touch on your computer, bro.
So you think that
I'm thinking urban.
Listen, here's my question. you believe the Vans company has more revenue than Puma does.
Yes.
Oh man,
good one.
You gonna make me look. I don't know if we should save this for a fact check for next week.
No, I think you should look it up now.
Whether we decided or not,
I'm a little
Alex
under the
is
weather.
going to fact check it.
Yeah, I'm a
No,
little.
no. That's a good that.
All right, let's take our own guesses now, and then we'll tap back in because I think, of course, nobody's debating Nike's
You
number
said
one.
Puma.
Everybody
you
get a
said-
top three. Everybody get a top three. Starting with you, Alex, because you're the expert on the most knowledge.
Nah, I'm not the expert.
You got the degrees and
Nah.
experience. Stop it, bro. You know more about analytics.
I don't think I'll put Skechers and Vans in the top three just because they're big and a lot of people of low income buy them. I'm gonna put Puma, Nike, Puma, and Adidas.
All right.
I'm gonna go Nike, Adidas. Damn, I want to say Reebok.
Ooh, that's a good one actually.
That was an OG one I ain't thought about. I'm going to say Nike, Skechers, Vans.
Okay, we'll tap back in next week on that.
I didn't have no. I accepted. I tried to give you a round of applause. He chose to sit out. He didn't even want to clap for you.
Now let me not necessary, but here's an interesting thing about Adidas.
Not necessary. That makes it even more should be appreciated.
Adidas and Puma are both based in Germany and were started by brothers. The two brothers actually started Adidas back in the 1920s or 30s. And then the two brothers had a falling out, and the second brother decided to start his own, and he started Puma. So that's interesting that the second and third most popular footwear in the U.S. were started by brothers.
And they split because of a falling out, and they remind me of the BMF story.
Oh, you took the words of my mouth.
Yeah.
And another thing it remind me of is the fact that it seems like so much of greatness and excellence in the world doesn't fall far. It's like something great often is connected to something else great.
And Adidas was initially tied into the Nazi German party.
Even that, whether it's greatly awful, it's greatness. Greatness seems to be attached to greatness.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Things that are awesome, that causes awe or great reaction, seem to be connected to some degree, often. And you just said right now that these brands that I never would have thought that were like cousins or sisters are.
Yeah, I mean it's plus they got in the game early. This is almost over 100 years ago, 1924.
But you often find out like the owner of Tide is also the owner, and I'm just saying random shit to make a point. The owner of Tide, I learned this from Mike Conception. The person that owned Tide, he also owns or has ownership in 7-Up, Pennzoil, IBM, It's never, what I'm talking about. A lot of the most wealthy people are not specialists other than anything they invest in.
Yeah. All right. That was interesting though, the sneaker wear. Unfortunately, my Diodors aren't in the top 10.
Them motherfuckers look like they hip hop B Street approved.
Hey, and I ran
Breaking
it back.
too.
I wore the Sauconys again today.
I seen that. I didn't want to mention it, but I seen you. I ain't never seen you repeating. We know you on a mission for some type of flyness collaboration, but you wore them motherfuckers back like twice in a row. What happened?
Yeah, they go tap in with me. Saucony go tap in with me. That was in the comments on YouTube tagging Saucony. So keep doing that because you know what I'm saying.
It's hard.
And the East Coast, they mess with them. All in New York, all in Philly. They rock it. Texas, Houston. They rock with them.
All right, let me finish out the rest of the list, and then we'll move on. Number 5 was New Balance. Number 6 was a sneaker.
That's surprising. That's deep.
Yeah, New Balance, $5.3 billion a year. Number 6 is a sneaker or footwear that none of us probably would have thought of, but it's Burberry. Number 7 was Asics, and 9 was Converse. So that rounds out the top 10.
You know what I just realized?
What's that?
The top 10 is all gang bang type shoes, bro.
I don't know what Asics is.
Asics is gang bang. Only reason I know them because gang bangers ever worn.
It's a nice running shoe.
But it's also an affordable shoe that East Side gangbangers used to wear because of that fact. They come in just like Sauconys. Asics and Sauconys Eastside Crippin', same shit.
How you spell A?
Yeah, A6.
Eastside Crippin'.
ASCICS.
Yeah,
Yes.
A6 and Saucony's are very similar. Yeah.
All
Yes.
right, how you spell it? A what?
ASICS.
Yeah, I don't want to speak for the Damus. I can tell you from my experience as an Eastside Crip, Eastside Crippin', Saucony's, and A6 were similar, almost equal. Saucony's were more popular, but A6
I don't
was
think it's a shoe that Crips wear that the Bloods don't wear, and vice versa, bro. Unless you go to the British night days. Other than that,
you might be 100% correct.
right? So
However,
it don't matter.
I
about
speak on behalf of personal experience.
that. Damn, you don't know no Bloods? D Slim ain't your.
I'm sitting next to one, so instead of letting
That's what I'm saying. So
no, instead of speaking for him, let him speak for himself. We together. I don't have to speak on my speak for my comrade because he's here to speak for himself. So now you can speak for yourself, and I'll speak for myself and the opposites. You can speak for yourself and the opposites.
All
That
right.
sounds like fair share.
All right. I hope that explains the top 10 sneakers. Let's move on.